Hi, this is Felice Sloan with Swanky Maven.
I'm David Leftwich, editor of Edible Houston and associate editor at Houston Food Finder.
I'm Eric Sandler, food editor for Culture Map.
So there's a big football game apparently coming up in the next a couple of weeks. So it's always a good time to talk about bars. But I think what we're gonna just not make it about the Super Bowl because, I don't know, do Houstonians care about football right now after that Texans season? There's a whole category of restaurants / bars or bars / restaurants that are doing a good job of serving great cocktails and great food in Houston. And so we're going to talk about a few of those. Eric or Felice, you got a favorite you want to kick off with?
Well, you know what? It's David was mentioning bars, and he mentioned the big game. You're talking about the Texans. Andre Johnson has a new sports bar. It is 80 Sports Bar and Lounge off Washington, and it's pretty special because it is like a man cave. You have 2 floors of TVs. You have good food. A hookah because you can smoke cigars outside. You have another patio upstairs. It's very cool. On the first floor, because it used to be Rare Steakhouse. So they've completely made it full sports bar. Downstairs, there's like a wall of TVs with 150-inch high definition screens. So you're going to get all things sports, and it's a great place to watch the Super Bowl and, all sports. I think it's going to be a good addition to that scene.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you mentioned Andre Johnson's new bar. He is just the latest Houston sports legend to open a sports bar. Just very briefly, I should mention Craig Biggio, the Astros Hall of Famer, has Biggio's downtown in the Hilton Americas Hotel, like right next to Discovery Green. And then Brian Ching, the Dynamo legend, is a partner in Pitch 25, the soccer-themed bar in Edo. And again, like if I were looking for specifically a place to watch any major sporting event, certainly Pitch 25 was packed for every World Cup match. I suspect both Biggio's and Pitch 25 will be very busy on Super Bowl Sunday.
I think so too.
Well, since we just talked about sports bars, I'm going to make the jump to those who don't really want to watch the Super Bowl for whatever reason, or just want to hang out at a good bar and get some good food. And of course, Houston has quite a few of those now. I'm going to start out with a new place, and I'm going to say Easy's Liquor Lounge, which is the new bar from the Agricole Hospitality, which are the people behind Cultivari and 8 Row Flint and others. And they've teamed up with longtime Houston Beverage Pro Matthew Tanner. It's really just a kind of really cool, laid back kind of homage to Texas dive bars. It's got a pool table, a lot of cool memorabilia and stuff on the walls, and it doesn't come across as cheesy. It actually kind of it's almost like already a nice pair of worn jeans. But it also, not only does it good classic cocktails, but it's got, some really good, just basic bar food, mainly hot dogs and chili. And they're using RC Ranch Wagyu hot dogs. They also have some vegetarian options to go with those the hot dogs. And, it's just a fun place, an easy place to hang out.
So you talked about that group, and you briefly mentioned it as you were talking about that 8 Row Flint. How could you not add the 2? That's like a classic. We love 8th Row. How could you forget it in your mentioning? You did mention it, but 8 Row Flint is, food, whiskey. It's I love what they do, because if there is a sports event, or they'll bring that big projector TV out, they'll do sports. Sometimes they do movie night, but they always have great, you can go there for brunch, and love. They're like a classic that always keeps giving. I love it.
I was thinking about, kind of coming back to Washington Avenue. because it's kind of a hub for these kind of bar forward places with great food. One that, speaking with David's idea of like new options, there's Bayou Heights Beer Garden. It just opened up on Washington. It's from the same owners as Heights Beer Garden, and they've recently hired Chef Teddy Lopez, who worked for Ronnie Killen for a really long time, so he knows all of the like Killen secrets, and he's making barbecue, and so you can get barbecue at Bayou Heights Beer Garden from like at dinner, when a lot of barbecue places aren't open. So from 4 to 10, basically every day. And they also have a coffee shop and a bakery on site. So, that's a place with like a really serious cocktail program. And then I think something like 80 combined taps with beer and wine. And so, very serious drink program and a pretty sophisticated food program. And that's a new place that people might not be aware of.
Yeah, I think anything from that Kirby group, they've kind of cornered the market for the kind of the high end, good patio bar. And I had the Heights Beer Garden on mine because, it's the same group, lots of taps, as you said, and also has two separate bars actually, one for the cocktails, one for the beer and wine, a good solid bar menu. It's just, the same people behind that.
I'm gonna go a little bougie because who doesn't love a bougie bar? I'm liking the Sporting Club. A lot of people love going there because it's a vibe. I mean, you have this stadium kind of seating kind of thing going on with you look up, there's chandeliers. They're giving you elevated like oysters and seafood towers and things like that. And I say it's bougie. It just has a nice look to it. But I've had friends that aren't on the bougie side that enjoy it as well.
Right. They also do a little of that nightclub thing, right? If you order a bottle of champagne or, they'll bring it out with the sparklers and the display and make a big deal about it. So, it's got that birthday party celebratory kind of thing going on too. I want to see your bougie and pivot to divey. And, I want to talk about Monkey's Tail in Lindale Park on the north side because it kind of straddles that line. Like if you're for special sporting events, World Series games, Super Bowl, that kind of thing, sports fans will come and they will root for their teams and it will have that atmosphere. But just day to day, it's just a kind of casual neighborhood spot with really good food. I think they have one of the better, cheap cheeseburgers in the city. They have pizza, they have tacos, they have wings. It's all very affordable. They have a great spirit selection, frozen cocktails. Lainey Collum is their bar director. She's a veteran of just about, so many great bars around town. She really knows her stuff. And it's just super chill. And sometimes that's all I want in a bar is like a place I can hang out with my friends and eat some wings and drink a couple of cocktails. And Monkey's Tail does that really, really well.
Yeah, and it's a good time, To your point, it's laid back, but it has good energy. It's a good time.
Speaking of bar veterans, I think one of the places that is you have to mention is Better Luck Tomorrow. It's the bar that is not a restaurant, but sometimes I go actually just for the food and not because it's a bar owned by Justin Yu and Bobby Hugo, who are longtime veterans in the food and beverage industry. But the kitchen is now helmed by another veteran, Michael O'Connor, who was a longtime chef at Vic and Anthony's and now has taken over the kitchen there. And they've got there's the Party Melt, which is one of the better patty melts in Houston. There's braised meatballs, good. They serve lunch and brunch, good small plates. Like there's an octopus and shishito peppers dish that's really good. They have really good Brussels sprouts. So, you can get a bunch of small plates and share. You can be greedy and keep it all for yourself. And of course, enjoy really good cocktails.
Speaking of that, I'll start thinking about when you're talking about, y'all named some of my favorites recent just now. One of my other favorites where people are like, what's a go-to? And I know it's one of Eric's favorites, probably one of your favorites too, and it's Winnie's. And I'm like, when I tell people, I'm like, I almost don't want to consider it a bar, but then I would be doing it a disservice because it's a slamming bar, right? Like they always have cool, wonderful cocktails and the drinks are good. but the food is amazing. Like, and I laugh because every time they'll add special things to the menu. So I'm always looking for, when I go, I'm going to tell you, I get a cool cocktail, but I always get like a classic, something like maybe I want some gumbo, and then I may not even be that hungry, but then I have to try something new on the menu because that's how good it is. So I'm going to say they do great cocktails, great food, and they may have game night there. There's always something fun going on.
That is on my list. It's actually where I celebrated my birthday last year. So really, the Po' Boys are fantastic, but their wings are some of the best in Houston, in my opinion. So that, for wing lovers, this is your spot.
And then also don't forget that the BLT Katsu Sando is excellent as well. Braised bacon that's been, fried, and it's got like a pickled green tomato. It's an excellent sandwich too.
See, everybody has a favorite. We all have a favorite there. That's what I'm talking about. It's amazing.
One other place I did want to mention is the Toasted Coconut, the kind of tiki-inspired bar and restaurant in Montrose. And then within, and they have this wonderful, like, gooey smash burger. They do dumplings. They do fried chicken. They do a lot of really fun stuff. But then inside Toasted Coconut is Quixote, which is like a very intimate agave bar with, like, raw seafood, ceviche, beef tartare, that kind of stuff. And that, like, so you can really have like two very different experiences. You can have like your fun tropical tiki situation, or you can have this really intimate counter seating, dimly lit vibe at Quixote. But they're very distinct. Like, even though you enter through the same front door, they're very distinct experiences, but they both have really great food and really great drinks.
All right, well, we've been focused on cocktail bars, but we haven't mentioned any wine bars, and I would want to throw out there a classic in Houston, which is 13 Celsius, which is has an excellent selection of wine, but I think its food kind of goes underrated, and mainly because they actually have some really good sandwich, and their mortadella sandwich is one of the better sandwiches in Houston, in my opinion, and it's grilled mortadella, it's provolone, a fried egg on a pretzel bun. So that's, and they have a couple other really good sandwiches. They also do good charcuterie boards and stuff. So, it's a good, and some good snacks. I don't think people always think about the food at 13 Cells. They think about the excellent wine selection, but it's got some good food to go along with the wine.
Yeah, I think one, I'm going to go, you went wine bar. I'm going to go a cool patio bar that's on the newer-ish side on the scene in the last year, Patterson Park. Over in the Heights, they have food trucks for the food. It's a patio, like you're outside. There is some indoor area, but it's like fun vibe. There's games. You can watch the game there. It's a fun little scene.
For my last one, oh man, it's so hard to pick.
You got to pick one.
I think we should do at least one late night spot. For me, give me Love Buzz, the pizzeria on Lower Westheimer. Open till 2 a.m. I think most days. It's everything you kind of want in a bar, right? It's dimly lit. It's a little bit obscure. It's got this fantastic jukebox, all this 90s kitsch. Obviously, it's named for a Nirvana song. It's got skee ball, and it's got good drinks and good pizza, and one of my favorite meatball subs anywhere in town. So that's my last one. Love Buzz Pizza Pub.
Of course, there's a few places we didn't get to, as always, on this segment. But that's, again, we scratched the surface, gave you guys some suggestions of places you can go for Super Bowl Sunday, or really any Sunday, Saturday, or any day of the week, especially if you want some good food to go along with some good drinks.
Hi, this is Felice Sloan with Swanky Maven.
I'm David Leftwich, editor of Edible Houston and associate editor at Houston Food Finder.
I'm Eric Sandler, food editor for Culture Map, and you're listening to Houston Matters with Craig Cohen.